Hello everybody, welcome to Goodness Speaks. We're so glad you're here joining with us today. It's a beautiful day for giving, and I'm Rochelle Fletcher. I'm a speaker, songwriter, singer, advocate of life, lover of women, and the co-founder of the Goodness Project. And I'm right here in our parking lot in Fort Worth, Texas. We actually help all around Dallas-Fort Worth, Nashville, Buffalo, Canada, and Israel, but I'm standing right here on our property, and we have a special event today with Gateway Church. The Goodness Project partners with nonprofits and churches all around the Metroplex and in our other cities that I mentioned, so that we can share the love of Jesus, and we actually provide resources to families in crisis. So any family that's in crisis, we want to make sure that they receive the resources that they need, and we want them to know that they're loved, and we want to partner them with, today it's Gateway Church, so I'm going to use Gateway Church. We want to partner them with Gateway Church so that Gateway can follow up with them and build relationship with them and make sure if there's other needs that they have and invite them into the church and all of those things. And so today, this event is a Thanksgiving outreach, because that's the time of year that it is, time to gather together around the table, to be thankful for all that's happened. And you know what, even in the midst of this year, in a very difficult year, we have so much to be thankful for. But the word that came to me today was radical generosity. Gateway Church is being radically generous to the community. And these families, I'll share more with you when we interview one of the pastors here about where these resources are going and what's happening. They reach families all over the community. It's not just families that attend Gateway. They really are about the community. And then the food, some of the food that we received here today was from Operation Blessing. And so it takes all of us working together, partnering together to make sure it all comes together. It's a lot of work, but it's so much fun when we see the goodness of God speaking, and that's what this show is all about, is God's goodness having a voice in the earth. And it's also about you finding your voice to show God's goodness. So I have a special guest. I have a couple special guests today. My first guest is Samantha Golden from Gateway Church. Hey Samantha,
hey.
Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you.
So glad you're here today.
Thank you.
I have to figure this out, this interview style thing.
Perfect.
So tell us, well, first of all, introduce who you are, what you do at Gateway Church.
My name is Samantha Golden, and I oversee our adult ministries at our North Fort Worth campus, and I love outreach. It's like one of my favorite things.
Does.
And so we've been so excited about today, and this is our second time to get to partner with you.
Yeah.
So it's been so fun to get to see the goodness of God on display and
so good.
Loving on families. So
It's so much fun. We did a back to school event with
Yes.
you a couple months ago when it was back to school time.
Yep.
And then you guys came to us and said, hey, we want to provide Thanksgiving, a whole meal. And Samantha's one of those, I'll just tell on you a little bit. She's one of those that wants to go the extra mile and make sure they're really loved on, they feel very special. I love that about you, Samantha.
Thank you.
And that's the heart of God.
Well, you know what, I believe in giving a hand up. You know, and this is the thing, we're created in the image of God.
That's right.
And I want to help in a way that brings dignity and worth to everyone that we encounter. So, and I love that, partnering with you guys, you have the same heart.
I do.
And so it's been so, just so amazing to get to love on people, but with the community, with so many different, like Chick-fil-A partnering with us. It's been awesome.
Talk about that. Who else is part of this?
So we've got Chick-fil-A, we have the Goodness Project,
Goodness Project. Yeah.
Operation Blessing. And I think that's all for this one. But our last one, we had several.
We had a lot.
Yes, we had Rita's Ice last time.
Yeah, Rita's Ice. We love to let the community be a part of loving on the community and all the businesses and people that do want to give. And we want you to be inspired to give too. Whatever the Lord lays on your heart to give, to be a part of your church, to volunteer. There's lots of volunteers that have come out today.
Oh, yes.
To be a part of this. But I do have another question for you. And I just want to echo before I ask that question that we believe the same thing, giving value and dignity to each person because they're made in the image of God. She said that very quickly, and I just want to stop and say that is the core reason why we do this, is because every person has value and dignity and worth in the kingdom. And then they have a place.
That's right.
They have a purpose in the kingdom, right, to show God's goodness too.
Absolutely.
Okay, so why does Gateway do this? I mean, why do you spend all this time, money, and resources to love on your community? What is the reason?
Well, again, the reason is because we do believe that we love God, and in loving God, you love people. And Pastor Robert, I mean, that's his life message.
It is.
A blessed life.
Gateway people, all about people. Isn't that your motto?
When you love God, the outflow of that is loving people.
Yes.
But also that we're thankful for our government. but the hand of government can never do what the heart of God can. And so that is why we do this. Is we want to give indeed. And so it's faith and works together, and so that's why once you experience the goodness of the Lord, you can't help but fall in love with Him. And so a big part of that is that we want to be His heart, and so that's what the government can't do. The government can supply food, but the government can never be the heart of God, and it's the heart of God that gives us the dignity. It's the heart of God that gives us worth.
Yes.
And because we're created in His image, when we encounter Him, we begin to discover who we are. And and that's so much of what's the problem, is that we have forgotten who we are. And so
identity and who we are. You're right. I mean, the government is doing their part. We actually have the food boxes today.
And we're thankful.
The USDA food boxes, that's a part of it too. They're a part of it.
Yes.
But you're right. I love that statement. That it's the heart of God. I just love that, because it is His heart being extended and being His hands and being His feet, but His heartbeat is to make sure people are loved on.
Yes.
So thank you so much for what you guys do. We love our partnership with you, and we know you're going to continue. Every time we sit with them, every time we sit with you in a meeting, it's always another level of excellence. It's always, how can we reach more people?
Yes. And we love that about you guys. Bill, I love Bill's heart too, because he loves to go the extra mile. Y'all both do, and so
we do.
Y'all are the best to partner with. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I paid her to say that. No,
it's the truth. It's the truth.
So we have another pastor here.
Yes, Pastor Stephen Wilson.
Pastor Stephen, who heads up all the prison ministries.
Yes.
And so we want him to be a part. Pastor Stephen, we want you to come on over. He's chatting with someone. So make your way over for Goodness Speaks. Come on the other side, Pastor Stephen. Over here, Pastor Stephen. We're on location right here at the Goodness Project today. That was Pastor Sam, and I love what Gateway Church is doing and love being a part of what they're doing. And so, Pastor Stephen?
Yes.
You tell the people, this is Goodness Speaks. You're on Goodness Speaks with Life Network for Women, and we just want you to introduce who you are and what you do for Gateway Church, and you can look right there and tell them.
Well, I'm Pastor Stephen Wilson, and I oversee the prison ministry at Gateway. So a couple of years ago, Pastor Robert had the vision of planting Gateway churches inside prisons. So we started here in the state of Texas, and we have 4 campuses now inside prisons here in Texas. We would have had a few more this year, but with COVID, that's kind of put a damper on the situation.
Kind of challenge, a little bit of a challenge.
That's right. But we love it. So we actually go in and plant Gateway churches inside prisons.
Wow.
So we have weekly services inside the prisons. We have our equip classes. We train them how to be volunteers. And my goal is really for them to come out and be a leader in their home, as well as in their church and their community.
Yeah.
So we want to go in and give them the tools they need while they're inside to be successful when they get out. And I think being in a strong congregation when they get out and having that support group around them is really making a difference on their recidivism and them going back. So we love Gateway's heart to give.
Yes,
and that's why we're here today,
Yeah.
Is to give, because that's what we do inside the prisons. We just give, give. Pastor Robert says all the time, we're blessed to be a blessing.
Yes, you are. You are such givers. Radical generosity was what I just mentioned earlier. Radical generosity. So for me, when I think about what you're doing in the prisons, I think about you're transforming families, right? Because you're going to the inside of the system to make sure that family is going to be transformed once they come out on the other side, but doing it while they're in there and letting them know they have worth and value, even though they disobeyed the law or whatever they got into prison for, that they have dignity and worth, and it's just someone to come alongside them and train them and give them biblical values and biblical truths so they can be transformed and then walk and then change, right? Isn't that what the gospel's all about?
That's exactly what it's about. And I tell the guys inside all the time, I tell them, you're not a project to us, you're part of our family.
That's so beautiful.
We want to love on you, and that's what the church is about.
It really is.
Reaching out and loving on people that are going through tough times. And,
yes.
And that's what we're doing here today.
That is what we're doing here today. We're giving these Thanksgiving meals out to families, and it's really the same thing, whether they're in the prisons or out here giving away food and or going to the communities and building homes or whatever it is, visiting the sick. It's all part of the goodness of God and really the church, which is the ecclesia. We've talked about this on Goodness Speaks. The ecclesia is going outside and really being that governmental system, right? And Sam mentioned earlier, Pastor Sam mentioned that the government does their part, but the heart of God is what you guys are bringing to people to show them the heart of God, the love, really the perfect love of God, you know?
It really is. And it really changes our community.
Yes.
You know, this
yes.
is the way society is going to change.
It is
and
transform.
and transform.
Yes.
Is this type of things, reaching out to each other, giving, loving on our fellow neighbor, our fellow person down the street. My wife used to say all the times she loved missions, but she didn't want to go to a third world country.
Yeah, you don't have to.
And that's what I told her. It's like, missions is right here where we are, in our community.
Loving
it's right
your
here
neighbor.
down the street, loving your neighbor.
Yes, I love that about Gateway. Gateway is all about people. We're so grateful for what you do. Thank you. Because I know ministers and pastors, my husband and I did that for 20 plus years. I won't say how many because that'll give my age away. But I know how hard it is. It's difficult, and you've got to put a smile on and love on everybody. But behind the scenes, there's so much that goes on in leadership. So thank you for what you do to make it happen. And we're just going to declare right now that you'll get more of those prisons open.
Yes.
Get all these challenges over COVID and get more of them open so you can see more and more families transformed. We always say transformed families transform cities, and transformed cities transform nations. And so I love that. I love that. That's so beautiful that the kingdom of God is coming in these times. So thank you so much for being a part of Good to Speak.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I look forward to giving you a little tour here in a little bit.
I would love to see more.
Okay,
sure.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I have a family that's going to come and share what this means to them to receive these groceries, and just so excited to share with you from a family's perspective. I'm going to share with you from a family's perspective. Come on over, girl. How are you? I'm Rochelle.
Good. I'm Shamika.
Shamika, nice to meet you. You can come on here. This is Shamika's daughter.
This is my daughter, Javon.
Javon?
Javon.
Javon. I said that wrong. Hi, Javon. It's nice to meet you. I'm just now meeting them. So we're so thankful that you're on Goodness Speaks to share your story about what this means to you to be able, for Gateway Church and the Goodness Project and Operation Blessing and all those that have made this possible today. What does this mean to you and your family to receive this turkey dinner and all these groceries in these times?
Well, it means a lot to us. We've been with Gateway for years now. She was 3 when we came to Gateway.
Okay.
She is, how old are you, 13?
You're
She's
13
now.
10 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, we've been here a long time. And just the heart of Gateway for single parents has always been awesome. I've always appreciated and loved what they do for us as single parents. I have 2 kids actually.
Okay.
And so Pastor Samantha, Pastor Mundo, Pastor Robert, our whole team, their heart for single parents is just amazing.
It is. It's so amazing.
Like just the blessing of getting food when times are kind of tough for everyone.
It's a hard time right now.
Yeah,
this year has been really challenging for so many people.
It has been an amazing year. That's what I keep telling myself.
Amazing. I like that. I like her attitude.
But yeah, just to be able to know that Thanksgiving dinner is taken care of and we don't have to worry about it.
Takes that pressure off a little bit.
And it's big for, my whole family. So
yeah. I love the heart. I'm going to echo what you just said. I love the heart of Gateway Church, helping single moms. And it's not just helping. Maybe just tell the viewers really quickly, because I know Pastor Samantha and her heart for single parents it's long term. It's not just a one-time thing and then we'll see you later. It's very relational.
Yes.
Very much about helping you alongside with resources that you need. But then what happens when you're having an issue in your family or you need some advice or spiritual guidance? Tell us how Gateway Church has been able to help you in that way.
So there was a tough time that I was going through that I needed some counseling. Like,
yes,
we had done the spiritual work and but I just needed some counseling to grow myself, and
we all do.
Right.
I'm telling you,
I think it should be a class in school.
It is all about self-help. Yes.
But I was able to reach out, and through the help of our Kairos ministry and Pastor Sam and some other ministers, I was able to get the counseling that I needed at a reduced price, because they reach out and work with counselors.
They do. I actually have a friend who's a counselor that they refer people to, so I know that's true.
So that was really good.
Yes.
And the sessions, really turned me and put me on a trajectory where I'm a lot better off than I was.
Yeah, you know
before.
what it's about? It's about getting that wisdom from other wise people when you're going through something. And so the church, I love that, so beautiful. Like, you needed something, Gateway was there, they knew who to connect you to for that resource, because resources are people.
Right.
You know, they knew a counselor that could help you, and resources are food for your family. Your beautiful daughter, by the way. Beautiful daughter. I love that we're doing this all together.
Yes.
For God. And what this show is about, Goodness Speaks, about goodness having a voice in the earth. And you know what? God has called you for something really special, I can sense. And I just want you to know your purpose and the plans that God has for you are so much greater than what you even think or know. So all of this is all part of his plan to get you on a trajectory, that's a hard word to say, for your next assignment in your season. And that's also what we talk about on Goodness Speaks, is that we each have a purpose.
Yes, I do believe that. I completely believe that.
Yeah.
And like I said, if I can take what I've gained from Gateway and help someone else.
Yes.
That's always my hope. You know, I know that this is an abundance of food, so I know that my family's not going to be able to have it all, but you know, I know other people who aren't going through the line.
Yeah, maybe you're going to share it.
So yeah, I'm definitely going to share it and help somebody else out, because I always feel like passing on is better than keeping.
Pay it forward. I love that so much. If there's someone watching today, maybe you're like Shaniqua. Did I say that right? Shamika. I just mess up names all the time. You ask my daughters. I do that all the time. Shamika. What a beautiful name. If there's somebody out there watching right now, maybe you have been through what Shamika's been through. Maybe you're really having a tough time right now. Shamika, I don't know if you have any words of advice for those that have been out there. You don't have to, but I just kind of sense that you might be able to speak to someone out there going through a tough time. What would you tell them to do based on what Gateway Church has done for you, all that the Lord has done for you? What do you want to speak to them and give them hope about today?
What I would tell someone who is going through a difficult time is, one, what I always say to myself is, know that you're not by yourself. I know sometimes, especially right now, with having to be social distance and quarantined and all of that stuff, you know, you can feel like you're a lone ranger, but you're not by yourself. There are always people who are willing and able to help you. Seek for the help, and don't feel ashamed to get the help. And one of my biggest things that I believe and I trust in is that everything happens for a reason, and God hasn't placed us in a place where he doesn't know what we're going through, and he's always there to help us and protect us even through our mess. So that's what I would say.
I told you she has a purpose. That was amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
God bless you both. Thank you so much for being on Goodness Speaks.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the food.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
So thank you guys all for tuning in today. This is such a blessing to be able to show the goodness of God in the land of the living. He has goodness stored up for you. Today is just a day of radical generosity, but I just want to speak to you right now, and I want you to know that if you're facing a difficult time, whatever it is, and maybe it's being around the table with your family at Thanksgiving and it's just stress and anxiety of relational issues, or maybe you don't have what you need, a job, because of what's happened in our world. There's so much going on in our world, but I want you to know God is he is on the throne, and he has your life in the palm of his hand. And today we just wanted to share the goodness of God. I'm gonna let the cameraman pan around so you can see a little bit more what's going on. So he's gonna do that while I keep talking. But this is the parking lot of the Goodness Project. Cars are continuing to come through to receive all of their turkeys and extra groceries. And it's beautiful, beautiful to see the hands and feet of God in action. Radical generosity going on right here today. But really, what Shamika said is we are not alone. We don't do this alone. We all do this in part. So remember, if you feel alone and feel isolated, remember that God has, just like he's doing this today, he has goodness in store for you, and he loves you. So we'll see you next time. God bless you. Be sure and connect with us at thegoodnessproject.com. Go connect with Gateway Church. They have campuses all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Thank you so much for being a part of Goodness Speaks. We'll see you next time. God bless you.